Hey everybody, I am Russ. That is Lauren. Happy Halloween or All Hallows Eve or whatever. There's several names for it. But today is the day that most people get all spooky and whatnot. And continuing on our, I don't know, the MO of our channel, always finding a positive spin to put on things. Lauren decided to pick 5 Disney songs that are perfect for today. So if you're having a party tonight with, I was going to say at first little kids, but like, I don't know, Disney songs are for anybody.
Disney songs are for anybody.
And Lauren will be carrying most of this video because the only film on this list that I've ever seen is the first one you're going to mention. And this is the only song on the whole list that I know. So this will be good for me and you. So you take it away and tell us about that. I mean, the first one is the one I know the most about.
So I'm kicking this off with the song Be Prepared from The Lion King. And this to me is the quintessential, like, I'm the bad guy Disney song because it is just so smooth. Like this is a bad guy that's like, you know, Jeremy Irons doing it. Like you just want to like him almost. I just think this song is great.
I quote Scar more than any other Disney character ever, and because of Jeremy Irons, like and this is so terrible, but near the end of the film where Simba's on the edge of the cliff and Scar is like, where do I remember this song? Oh yes, I remember. He's like, this is just like your I have said that so many times, like in that voice to people. I'm like, where do I remember? Oh yes, I remember this.
Yeah, and this song is exactly that. It's like he's telling his little hyenas to, you know, be prepared because stuff's about to get real. And musically, this song just fits any Halloween vibe. Like this plays in the background of any Halloween party.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like you could for sure. And again, I have never seen the rest of these movies, or which, by the way, I guess drop a comment and tell me, because when she gets into these, you're gonna be like, "Oh, have you never seen those?" But I just haven't. But knowing this song in this movie, like I'm like, oh, I bet the rest of these are gonna be perfect. You know? What I mean?
Yeah, and it actually, I'm following it up with one that I think is just as perfect in a very, very similar way. My next one is Poor Unfortunate Souls, sung by Ursula from The Little Mermaid. And I'm going with the one from the OG 89 film by Pat Carroll. Melissa McCarthy did a great job with this song in the remake, but this one feels more Halloween.
Without getting into that whole thing, for me, I 9 times out of 10 always just have more of a bond with the original version of something, or like something you loved as a kid. And it's nothing against, I don't even want to be in that discussion, but like anytime somebody remakes something, you know, you've seen the original a million times, you've quoted it a million times, and then any variant, you're like, you know, so like you said, even though Melissa McCarthy did a great job with it, it's like, you know, the original from when, is this the one that you wore out? No. Alice in Wonderland is the movie you wore out.
But The Little Mermaid was the first movie I ever saw in the movie theater.
Nice. Well, I feel like many people wore out copies of.
Yeah. Oh, this, yeah, for sure. And this song is basically doing the same thing as Be Prepared. I'm now kind of thinking about my list. I pretty much kind of laid out this is the big bad telling you what they're going to do kind of songs. But that's okay. Because this is, again, Ursula being like, oh, these poor, unfortunate souls. What I love about this, though, is she's so smarmy about it. She's laying it because she needs that signature from Ariel, right? To be like, no, I'm going to give you my voice. I know you don't know.
No.
But she's laying it out and like, oh, look at all of these poor, unfortunate souls that I've helped.
Right.
But really, they're poor, unfortunate souls because of it's great. And you get that vibe. Like, even as a kid, I was like, this is not going to go well.
Yeah, you're like, wait a minute. I don't think she's good at she's a good person.
I think she's lying.
It's funny that we just talked about like the difference between original and whatnot. I wouldn't call this next thing
the next two aren't.
The reboots. They're more origin story type things, right?
For sure.
And just for the record, I haven't seen 101 Dalmatians either. So it's not just that I haven't seen Cruella. But I feel like I love Emma Stone, and I know this song is not by her, but I feel it's got to be fun to watch Cruella.
Yeah. I will say, I think this song is better than the movie that it comes from. Okay. So I'm talking about the song Call Me Cruella from Cruella by Florence and the Machine. And if you've seen the original 101 Dalmatians, there's Cruella's big bad theme song is Cruella de Vil, if she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will, right? Like that song. That song gets worked into this song in a very Florence and the Machine kind of way. This song stands on its own, separate from...
Which I feel like is, like, okay, so this is totally off the topic from what you're doing, like, because it has nothing to do with Halloween. But, like, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I mean, probably if you're a Disney fan and I just said that, you're probably instantly think of Simba and Nala doing adult things in the film. But that song stands very much on its own. And that's just the first example that flew into my head, right? But there are a lot of Disney songs that I feel don't. Like, for example, I don't know the name of it, but one of the Disney films that I have seen is Aladdin. I've seen it a lot. And like at the beginning of the movie where he's like going through the town square and he's kind of telling you the whole story of his life, like that he's that like how he gets by and all that. Like I have no doubt that somebody could listen to it on its own, but that is not something you would hear on the radio, right?
Totally makes sense. I think a more salient
busting out the $10
example would
that's
be,
like tonight. Hopefully, if you take your children out, you get full size candy bars. Lauren's over here using the full size words.
Yeah, king size, baby.
That's a treat.
But yeah, a different example would be
King size. Who gives out king size? We're hoping for just a normal size.
I know,
bar.
that's fair.
Northern PA money over here. But
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes.
Right? That obviously
it was.
Was.
Yeah.
But that song doesn't stand on its own outside the context of the movie, as well as
I'd say
something
that.
like
I think you're going to launch a
Can You
million
Feel the Love
comments with
Tonight?
that, but like,
But hey,
but remember, if they're not nice, I'll just delete them.
it's a great song. I'm not saying this is not me saying anything is bad. I'm just saying, like,
Well, no.
you need
that's never stopped people from acting like we said something bad when we didn't.
That's true.
So
but yeah, Call Me Cruella. It's
and then
great.
The next one is another more recent.
Yes.
That again, I have not seen this film.
Maleficent.
Now, how do you feel
right?
about this film?
I think this film brilliantly gives Maleficent context that she so desperately deserves.
Okay.
So,
Well, there are origin pictures that people are like, okay, but we didn't need to know that, or like nobody asked, you know.
I think
Like,
this one, yeah.
And again, I feel like I'm hitting all these controversial topics on it totally by accident, I assure you.
Well, it's
But, like,
Halloween.
well, there's things like the Han Solo movie. Like one of the big problems people had with it was that like Han always has the dice and stuff, and a lot of people were like, well, why did we need to know how he got the dice, or well, you know what I mean? So, but you're saying this is justified.
I think so.
All right,
And
and then
I mean, it's not just because Angelina Jolie is also like
She's
great
in it.
But this track, "Once Upon a Dream" by Lana Del Rey. Now, what I like about this, and the reason this made my list, is because "Once Upon a Dream" is a song from Sleeping Beauty that has nothing to do with Maleficent. It has nothing to do with the big bad in the film. But Lana Del Rey'd it.
Sure, yeah, I know what you
to
mean.
the point where I'm getting goosebumps now. It feels dark.
Yeah.
She took a very, very light song and made it very, very dark, and it's kind of
goes
awesome.
with that group.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's rad. Now, one thing we never do on this channel, we never do anything like, like, oh, that person passed away. So I know that's why you didn't include this, but I think we would be remiss if we didn't mention that, even though as of the filming of this video, I still have never seen this film. And I was very recently told off by a friend for not having seen this film.
Sidebar, it will be corrected by the airing of this video.
Yeah,
so don't come at
I
him.
would say so. But this particular song, the gentleman who sang it did just pass away, and I know that people love this cut.
Yeah, so obviously I could not do a Disney Halloween collection without something from Nightmare Before Christmas. And
Yeah, because obviously, who would even never even seen that movie?
Yeah, I
you
didn't
know
know
what I'm
that was
saying?
and so I had a tough time, and I didn't land on it because of that.
No, I know that.
I know
I
you
just
know that.
wanted, in case
It's-
someone thought that.
I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going with Oogie Boogie's song. Ed Ivory and Ken Page. I think the reason that I went with this is because, again, like, this is kind of the big bad doing the big bad thing. And outside of Jack Skellington, Oogie Boogie is the visual from this film for me.
Yeah,
It's
well, even for me, like I don't I've never seen it.
Like-
and I know her and him, Jack and
Sally.
and then I know of
Oogie Boogie.
Yes.
Like, I can't look at any
And
burlap sack.
And the dog. There's a dog.
There's a dog. I can't look at any burlap sack without thinking about Oogie Boogie. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you put me in like a feed store and there were burlap sacks everywhere, I'd be like, I don't like this.
You're like, I gotta go. So if you are planning a holiday playlist for tonight and you just want something a little lighter maybe on there, except for the Lana Del Rey song.
Yeah, sorry.
Put
It's
these
great.
on there. But let us know, like, a lot of what we said on here are just our opinions. Nothing we said was meant to incite a riot or anything. Like, these are just our opinions. And if you have anything, an opposing opinion or whatever else, by all means, use your words in a positive way and share that with us below. Or if you have other songs, because, like, I'm sure this wasn't just like, oh, here's the only 5 songs.
Yeah, I had a tough time with this, so I could do this again next year.
Right. Oh, that'd be fine by me. Once again, that is Lauren. My name is Russ. Here is our beautiful girl, Belladonna, who you can barely see on camera. If you would please drop a like on the video, hit subscribe if you haven't already. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.